Hello, friends. Good morning. My name is Akash Sanjay Gubragade. I am a PhD research scholar at Delhi University and coordinator KIDK. Um, I welcome you all for the online lecture organized by Karunakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. This is our fourth lecture, and we are organizing this lecture uh, from 14th of April this year, from Ambedkar Jayanti 2025. So we have renowned speakers presented and give lecture in previous sessions. So this time we get uh, from Delhi University, Professor Kumar sir. He will go deliver a lecture, and Professor going to chair this session. So I personally, on the behalf of Karunakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge, I welcome both of you. Now I request our Shashikant Bharti to introduce our chair. Shashikant Bharti, please introduce our chair.
Thank you, Jai Bhim, sir. Jai Bhim, Kesava, sir. Jai Bhim, Professor, sir. Uh, Professor Dr. Lalla Karunkara, sir, is the chair of Karunkara Institute of Dalit Knowledge, and he is a uh, versatile academic career throughout his life, and he did a PhD from GNU, PhD and MPhil, and uh, after completing his academic career, he provided services in Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University in Lucknow till 2007. After 2007, he came to Wardha, Maharashtra. Uh, then after, he became professor and dean and director of uh, Dalit and Tribal Studies Center. And he is a very great personality, and he always enrich us with various uh, new topics, and uh, he always encourage us to achieve something more and inspire to get very uh, better knowledge for betterment of all. And after it is our privilege to have discussion with Professor Sir to initiate a program to interact with uh, intellectual person worldwide. Uh, he After he started Karnukara Institute of Dalit Knowledge, it is a very versatile platform to uh, collect all the Dalit intellectuals together to to enrich uh, the Dalit uh, uh, knowledge to disseminate worldwide. And it is very great honor to be a coordinator of Karnataka Institute of Dalit Knowledge. And thank you. Welcome to all of you in this program. And now we can start the program. Akash.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shashikant. Uh, Now I request Dr. Darshan Ambeshram to introduce our guest, Professor Kumar sir.
Thank you. First of all, Professors Jaibhip and everyone. Uh, Professor P. Keshav Kumar is a faculty member in the Department of Philosophy at the University of Delhi. He earned his PhD from the University of Hyderabad and previously taught at Pondicherry University before joining DU. His areas of specialization include social and political philosophy, contemporary Indian philosophy, continental philosophy, and Dalit studies. At the University of Delhi, he has introduced several innovative MA philosophy courses such as Philosophy of B.R. Ambedkar, Critical Philosophical Traditions of India, Critical Reading of Western Philosophy, and Indian Materialism. These courses aim to offer alternative perspectives that challenge the dominant narrative within philosophical discourse. Professor Kumar is the author of Political Philosophy of Ambedkar, an inquiry into the theoretical foundations of the Dalit movement, Jiddu Krishnamurti, a critical study of tradition and revolution, and Dalit Udamam Velugu Nidalu, a collection of essays on the Dalit movement in Telugu. He is an active commentator of the Dalit literary and culture politics and has recently published two poetry collection in Telugu, Adima Porudu and Egire Palam, Nadise Mancham O Kuni Ragam.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Darshana. Uh, Today, Professor Kumar sir going to speak on the power of Ambedkar and unmasking Indian academia and popular politics. With the big applause, I request Professor Kumar to present his lecture.
No, thank you, everybody. Very especially, I'm thankful to Karandikara, Institute of Dalit Knowledge. And I know Karandikara for a long time. He's a committed scholar. And in fact, 20 years back, he invited me to the Baba Saheb Ambedkar University. There I presented a paper on Indian historiography and Ambedkar's viewpoint. Still, that paper, even which is critical about the nationalist, Marxist, even subaltern kind of studies, that paper is an impact. It is highest reading paper on the academia.edu. And after that, we joined and started many courses and also engaging with Ambedkar for quite long time. In fact, interacting with the scholars in a different way. Sometimes we used to quarrel with even Professor Rakesh Chandra also joined today. We have discussion, same Lucknow University itself, Ambedkar University itself. We have a lot of discussions about this, about recognizing Ambedkar. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Thank
you
you.
are audible.
Yeah, how to recognize. That is initial days. How to recognize in philosopher, what kind of philosophy it is there, that kind of debates also there. Today it is recognized the important and strength of the Ambedkar. There is no doubt about that one, both in academy and political systems. And in this context, of course, what is Ambedkar and what is the core ideas of Ambedkar, how it is materialized or translated into the both in academy and political system, political kind of governance. That is one aspect. And in fact, this is a very ambitious title. I very casually I gave the title, but later while writing and try to make myself how to present it, actually, this is beyond my capacity to present it. Various levels, various aspects are there, and even if confining to one discipline itself is a very difficult story. And to even for philosophy, my discipline is philosophy. Even very difficult to locate him and making a importance of Ambedkar. And when try to make a claim about the humanities in general, very particularly literature departments, you know how it is very much how Dalit literature is very much influential, which is very much is inspired by the Ambedkar. And apart from that one, social science studies, whether political science, sociology, history, and other disciplines. I don't know how far it is. Economics is got influenced, but other aspects of the subjects very much. It is each discipline has its own articulation, understanding of the world. It is there. They kind of themes and theories, concepts are there. At the same time, Ambedkar is forcefully entered in all the disciplines. The challenging task is how they articulate it and what extent to accommodate it and what compels them to take note of Ambedkar. These are the issues. I don't think it is Ambedkar full-fledged level is inaugurated in academics, but it is at least they are compelled to take note of the Ambedkar. Yes, Ambedkar is a thinker, not just by pleasing somebody or it is let us see to talk about some Dalits or something like that. It is as a knowledge systems. Ambedkar is a man, as a scholar, as academician, as a politician, created the crisis in the disciplines. either in politics or it is a knowledge systems. And rather than influencing, I say that things are created, the creator of the crisis. Crisis means the existing explanations or understandings or concepts is not enough to understand. You have to go beyond that. Not only created crisis, people, academics still at the level of the understanding, addressing the crisis, but you have to see that one, not only crisis he created, how to overcome that crisis also Ambedkar offered. That part we didn't see the what kind of the positive impact and what kind of theories Ambedkar tried to present it and how far they internalize in the mainstream knowledge systems and institutions. And that is one level. Even the most of the political parties in a public sphere, everywhere we can see the visibility of Ambedkar. It is not because of the ruling communities or people who are in power. It is because of the ordinary masses. See, the Ambedkar as symbolizes the collective consciousness where he represents them and they feel that thing. He's questioning the hegemony, hierarchy, authority. The way the posture of Ambedkar also we can see that one. It is pointing out the dominance, and also one way is carrying the constitution. Other way it is pointing out the way the village or in a city where the power lies. Such kind of symbol we used to see because of the mobile. At the same time, we can see the post-independent India, this mobilization of the Dalits, significant mobilization of Dalits, and also started articulating about themselves. And in a process of deepening the democracy, or in a participatory democracy, and they created the, of course, they created the public sphere, their visibility became a problem. And for a long time, we aspire that you people have to come forward and to take it to the participation. You have to get educated and you have to keep away from ignorance and empowerment. All these things, it is rhetoric we've spoken for a long time. When they came to such a level, then you can see the merit issue and they're violent and they don't have this. So all negative attributions we used to may tag to these people. But however, we can see that one, even though they are not caring about that one, the more since they are not questioning not only the public visibility of the Dalit communities, Dalit and OBC, or in the name of the caste, which is a caste is a secret they try to maintain the status quo for a long time, both in a politics and also academics. And they don't want to discuss. They know that that is the caste is a institution, as caste is a philosophy, caste is also how it is conditioning our thinking and social action and understanding of everyday life. But very conveniently, people, scholars, the great scholars of this country, either Indian or foreign exposed or any of different discipline, they become silent. The silent about the caste system. They are not only silent, some of the people cleverly try to justify the caste system by giving the different kind of meanings. It is the social division of labor, or it is some kind of cultural code, and it is helps to some kind of different names they try to give justification as given, or it is our dharma shastras, dharma, or it is not by birth, it is by guna, like that. There is some kind of amendments might be there, but never try to see the vulnerability of the caste system, the vulnerability created by the caste system, the kind of oppressive attitude and inhuman kind of treatment to the fellow human being, that they fail to question. They try to understand, never try to understand. Forget about other disciplines and all. The even social sciences, which talks about the society, which try to deals about the people, which try to deals about the behavior of the people and political conduct of the people, which try to talk about the normative understanding of the world. And philosophy, no need. And philosophy from the beginning, it became a very conservative, and also now also they want to keep it as a they don't want to they don't want to extend the word philosophy, Ambedkar as a philosopher. They are very much afraid to make that comment. Not only afraid, they'll see to that Ambedkar should not be treated as a philosopher. The fellow who never try to read any kind of philosophical understanding of Indian philosophical system, we try to make them people as the great philosophers of this country and contemporary philosophers. But the man who try to deep into the philosophical systems, he try to understand some and what is the and his engagement with the Indian philosophical systems. But they say that the philosophy is a privileged word, and the philosophy, what kind of philosophy in the country is going on. It is in the name of moksha, in the name of other world, in the name of idealism, and they don't want to talk about. They try to talk about the great things which is illusory level, high, the way transcendental level and spiritual level. When come to the concrete reality, material reality, and when social and political terms, we can see they are nowhere. And in fact, they maybe justify the status quo system, that social order, Hindu social order. That is the philosophy where we try to look at it. Anyway, my point is that it is the ordinary masses make the people to take note of the importance of Ambedkar. Because of the political parties, they have seen the mobilization of the people in the name of Ambedkar. Then they try to talk about today Ambedkar as a political constituency. It is created Dalit as a political constituency, and where their kind of affinity is identified with Ambedkar. So they try to enter to appropriating Ambedkar and all. Somewhere and all identifying Ambedkar, only maximum level naming of Ambedkar, some institutions and some kind of the way. But we know what against the spirit of Ambedkar, what is going on. Even people for them easy to symbolically to extend the affinity with Ambedkar, but as a practically they feel difficult. The way this is one level it is happened, and it is all the political parties there today, not including parliamentary and non-parliamentary political parties. They are somewhere other for a long time. They never see it as Ambedkar as a part of their political kind of ideology, part of the political ideology to discuss. And today, each one has the primary thinkers might be there. Conservative political parties, their kind of people are there. Even left parties, their kind of primary thinkers are there. Here for a long time, never try to consider Ambedkar as a tertiary level or at other level. And today, they are also somewhere other, they try to make a note of Ambedkar, to think about Ambedkar, but that too very selectively. But at the same time, they feel problematic to their politics. The way the Hindutva politics is easy, they try to accommodate selectively because of they selectively to appropriate Ambedkar because of his difference in the name of democracy, difference with other ways of understanding the world and other kinds of struggles, or the where he try to talk about the means of the where non-violence, violence, he don't want to approve it, and he's also try to talk about democratization as a try to valorizing the morality of the customs. Such level they try to see to that, but at the same time, they feel that one, it is also critical about the Ambedkar. I'm critical about the Hindu social order. It is very difficult to appropriate. It is Ambedkar is a fire. Even though try to make a point, and it is not so easy. Even it is apparently looks like that we can easily identify with Ambedkar so that we can get the bogey of this Dalits also to our political parties. But it is they feel it is difficult. That's why we can see now they realize even the institutions like us is also feel. We thought that Ambedkar is such a celebrated figure, very difficult to remove from the syllabus. It is not like other kind of thinkers. He is not even the where it is contesting, questioning the state. That it is not that they feel that thing they can accommodate within the state, within the constitutional level. But they understood that one, it is much more than it is the accommodation. There is a danger. It is there. The way he is, whatever the politics based on our kind of the religion, tradition, customs, he thoroughly fighting against that one. He's totally critical about that one. The whatever the things were built up, it is easy to collapse by if you take into consideration of Ambedkar. That's why now we can see the real face of the academia in India, where after some time where politics has taken over the ruling. And there they understood that Ambedkar is a danger. Ambedkar has become a problem. That's why in universities like us, let us not have the course on Ambedkar. They understood that one. The think tank of the people, they try to understand the problem with the Ambedkar. Then they try to stop that course with a lot of struggles and making that one. We are compelled to, we make them to people, yes, you have to be because of the whatever the political compulsions are there. We are in a position to retain that course to sector. But at any time, but at the same time, to talking about the caste, talking about the tribe, talking about the gender, talking about any kind of democratic attitude become a problem. In the name of our great, imagined, glorious past, we don't know what kind of past, whose past it is. And in the name of our great civilization and culture, they don't want to relate to the contemporary, the dead past, they don't want to relate it to the contemporary times. They doesn't know meaning, and they don't want to see whatever. Yes, we want to hold for our, feel pride of our culture, our tradition, no doubt about that one. How it is related to the contemporary of that culture, and that kind of, not only they have the not engaged with that one, at the same time any kind of the value system which we try to talk, making the democratic and all, they try to be say that let us not have the in the part of syllabus. This is everyday things where when syllabus passing, it is the kind of scrutiny were happening in the universities like us. And this is a serious issue and all. Since they thought that it is a we are in a power, we can make it, we can appropriate this thing at administrative level or at other level, it is there. But they fail to note that one. If he's not outside the universities, it is very difficult to stop them. It is even the universities generally came later to recognize the knowledge of what is happening. Same thing is happened with either with Ambedkar or with the Dalit literature or Dalit struggles. They create some kind of tension outside and all. Then they're compelled to they try to see that thing. They're making a point of that one, that will make keeping money filters to see the Ambedkar. This is a contest where I believe that one, there is a need to be discussed about that one. I don't want to even come to the 90s onwards. It is Ambedkar. It is um, um, the where we either both in academics and in public sphere and in the Indian knowledge systems and the political theories, we can see the presence of Ambedkar's very well. And because of his scholarship, the kind of academic exposure in the Indian thinkers, scholars, even present, nobody has such kind of exposure to the diverse subjects: philosophy, economics, social anthropology, and law, political science, and apart from that one, the kind of education also getting the very well-known world topmost universities, London School of Economics, Columbia University, and other places. He has understanding about that one. But point is that when I am not talking about that one, what is the greatness of Ambedkar's great virtues of Ambedkar, but I would like to see what is his academic interventions. It is not happened today. We are talking about 90s. We try to initiate discourse about Ambedkar. When come to 2020s, 25, it is there. The how to eliminate him, how to erase him, this kind of plan of actions also we have to see. These are very much visible. In the name of you are hurting my sentiments, we're criticizing about the Rama or Krishna making these people as a part of history. Historically, how to understand in the riddles of Hinduism, then immediately raising the issue and all, hurting my sentiments and all, let us remove this one. Critical about Hindu social order is a problem. Very people used to suggest us to don't put the Ambedkar's critique of Hindu social order. You keep it as a Ambedkar critique of Indian social order is not a problem. Don't keep Indian Hindu social order. How can you keep it? It is Hindu social order. That is a book. It's written. That means I want to say the mood of the times, where how to recognize him took long time and remove him, erase him from this one, and because of the various conditions, terms and conditions they try to apply to keep it as Ambedkar as a part of discourse. we can see this the kind of approach where these people we can try to. Okay, let me come to the point where I try to talk. It is as a not 90s and 2000 we are talking about. Ambedkar's intervention we can see 100 years back in our academics. That is intervention into our understanding our society, intervention in terms of the what kind of polity, what kind of struggles one has to carry forward in this country. We can see to that one. As you know, the famous article, Caste in India. The Caste in India 1917 he has written. That is presented in a seminar, anthropology seminar. And there we can see the many people, even the whatever Ambedkar tried to talk about 100 days back, the same attitude it is there. Even the people, even till today, also either Indian, even we're talking about society, the people try to talk about Indian sociology, and they never see to that. There's a need to change our approach, and simply they will carry with the approaches of the functionalist, structuralist, or some other approaches they try to carry forward from the Western, but never try to see the where Ambedkar tried to critique about that one. Either ethnographical studies and all. Ambedkar tried to provide the new orientation to that one. You know it very well. The way how the caste genesis and origin of the it is caste is not understood in terms of occupation, in terms of race, in terms of the poverty, purity, and pollution. And it has to be more than that. It is not next to exclude that one. It is origin of the caste he identified as a part of the social system and as a social rule, as a doctrine of the dominance, doctrine of the discrimination, how it is originated. We have to see the part of endogamy, the imposition of endogamy over exogamy. That is the creation of the caste. That is the argument he started. Then how it is started, how it is carried forward, then what makes them this one disparity between the sex makes them to be compelled to go for that things. But interestingly, that become the people who try to go for the child marriage or sati or sannyasa. Interestingly, that become the moral orders and customs for us. You have to feel that Indian ethics. We see to that one the importance of this one, but where they forget the where the origin, how they are originated and all. Then Ambedkar, not only endogamy, tried to talk about how it is got imitated, how it became a phenomenal, how the started, who started, and how others are started. Imitation, how infestation of the imitation he tried to talk about. This is the way where it is tried to understand. That means he's not trying to describe what is the features of the caste system, what are the taking the concrete reality, what it is, but he tried to question the origin. He tried to recognize the kind of the violence and hierarchy, the politics involved in the name of the caste. In order to transform the caste system, he tried to engage with the caste. Then he tried to next article, you know it very well. Like it is not only time, not only we can see that one 1920s itself, the way the Mahasatyagraha, we all can see that one. It is not only the ideas academic ideas translating into the action, and also in a society like that, undemocratic society like us, where they try to talk about the social obligation is a priority, and where there no rights are there, basic rights as a human rights, as a basic, as a civilians have the rights to access to the water. We are not asking for the jobs, we are not asking for some land, but access to the water. Water is a common property, nobody is manufactured. That access to water also people has to struggle it. And there we can see the Ambedkar's political entry, and also that means the way not only talking about the caste, and also it in order to transform the society, in order to transform the critical about the caste system, one can see this one. That we can see in 1936, we can know it very well, the undelivered lecture, that is annihilation of the caste. And you know it very well, is very clear. Not only people try to characterize the caste system, and this is the caste system, that and all. Of course, apart from the characterization has to be done in order to transform that one. Where Marx quotation know it very well. Philosopher interpret the world, however, the thing is how to change it. We can very exactly the apt way we can see that Ambedkar's point as a victim of the caste system, he tried to change that one. Academics has to, even now also we don't see such kind of approach in our academics and all. They never try to see that. In order to transform the society, he tried to. The undelivered lecture, what he has done, that one, you know it very well. There, the Ambedkar's annihilation of the caste, many people celebrated in many ways. It has importance, it is there. But both political level and academic level, the importance it is there. First of all, there's a need to be argue for understand the demanding for the annihilation of the caste. Why it has to be there? In order to reconstruct the society. Without to reconstruct the society, you can't build anything. Politics is not possible. The way your claims of freedom is not possible. There's a reconstruction of the politics. That means when people try to talk about the political freedom, you first you address this problem is a social reconstruction. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything and all. So that's what he tried. The link between the politics and social, he tried to rise out. The social means it is a cultural also. Social means and also is a lived experience. Social means it is also it is religious. Since religion is try to see the social driving force, he try to talk about social force like that. He try to. Interestingly, what it is there, if you open that book of Annihilation of the Caste, it looks like 1930s is addressing various issues with the way he tried to negotiate with the nationalists like Gandhi and other people and the socialists and socialist understanding of the world and also Sanatanis, Arya Samajes, and also some of the people talking about the modern liberals and some people try to come about scientific eugenics like that, the improvement of the breed, such a level they try to. He, among all these people, the various arguments are there, he tried to address that issues, that concern. Even till now also, we can see the relevance of that one. And his point is that very simple. He finds the nexus between the caste and religion and Shastras, priestly class and ruling class. That's why caste is not isolated institute and all. It is got the sanctity through the religion. Religion, God is got the making the things are through Shastras, certain codes and term Shastras, and this way one has to follow. Not only make Shastras, making them as a divine. Not only making them divine and all social design is a divine like that I talk about. And more than that, it is also officiating on regular basis by the priestly class. It is there. And priestly class, it is not possible to just doing like that unless until support from the ruling class. Then that way, to make the power and also in the name of religion, to make to have the carry the legacy of the religion by the king or ruling classes, that way they make a very compact system, very difficult to defeat it. And that kind of system Ambedkar identified long back. And that's why he tried to argue that prior to the political change demanded the social transformation. In other words, politics has rooted in a social. Democracy has to be such in everyday social relationship. Moral committee views as the basis for the democratic governance. In that process, he examines the what constitutes social. His conception of social based on the righteous social life, as caste, religion are anti-social in its spirit and not allows the communication, solidarity, associated life. He redefined the social as a participatory process in a common activity and sharing both pleasure and pain. And there we can see that the society means it is not living together, just living together, or we have some kind of common festivals and traditions, some not like that. Society means it is a participating in a common activity. Society means sharing our life, everything. And society means in a process of labor and production, you have to be communication is there and all. Our society is excommunicated. How it is cruel, the society we are excommunicating, keeping an untouchability. That is an ideal of your kind of society. And keeping isolation, exclusion, you may talk about something. I don't know what kind of philosophy which is justify the exclusion, isolation. We never questioning that one. In the name of the karma, in the name of you will born again. There's so many kind of excuses people may given that one. And he tried to talk about that one society where the society means that one. It is a caste, is a anti-social. It is people try to talk about social. It is anti-social institution. Then he try to talk about the extended this one to the religion. That is one level. And since it is sanctity from the Hinduism, then how it is also anti-social. Religion means you feel sense of belongingness, solidarity, sense of morality, but sense of the flourishing of the human being, human personality can be there, but how it is negated and neglected. And there it I talk about. He went to the level of the not only try to talk about the relation between the social, the political, social, and also social is extended to the religion. Religion, if I talk about righteous social life based, that is that kind of religion. The religion or tradition which stands for the reason, which stands for the morality. Such level, he tried to be critical about uh, the concept of religion. There he tried to provide, if you look at further, the Ambedkar, in a philosophy of Hinduism, there he tried to discuss about the what is the like the caste, what is the origin of the religion. Religion is nothing but a not rituals and also magic and some kind of practices. He tried to talk about this. If you look at closely, it is a longing for life. That is the underlying principle of religion. Then only all other things they came. We follow this ritual, that ritual, other one. It is there. Then he tried to how religions from savage to the civilized religion, how they transform. That point also he tried to talk about. Then not only that one, he tried to come up with the religion means just whatever all religions are teaching good and not like that. Never be like that. All religion teaching is not that kind of compared to. He tried to talk about philosophy of religion as a method he tried to provide. Philosophy means what you critically looking at the religious texts and understanding religions and also in terms of the morality, normativity, and all. He tried to talk about nothing is changing, nothing is changeless, and nothing is sanatana. It goes on changing. Religions also change. Religious revolution took place. In that way, he tried to talk about the without religious revolution, the where hegemony, Gramsci tried to talk about, these created the hegemony. And without kind of hegemony, ruling is not possible. And Ambedkar also long back recognized this kind of approach of talking about religious revolution and also importance of that one. And there he tried to talk about the religion has to be evaluated based on two principles, that is utility and other principle is justice. For savage religion, we can see why you are believing because of some utility value might be there. In the modern religions, you have to be understand that one based on justice. Justice means equality, liberty, fraternity. How the religions recognize this kind of principles. There he tried to argue that when whether Hinduism recognize equality or liberty or fraternity or like that. He tried to talk about Hinduism, thy name is inequality. The soul of Hinduism, inequality. It is antagonist to freedom. When you are antagonist to freedom and also inequality is your sacred principle, how can we expect some kind of the fraternity or moral community, solidarity, or other way, democracy? That is a fraternity is other word, not only justice, it is also democratic society or other moral society. This is the where Ambedkar tried to look at that one. Later, I try to look at the even the come to the state and minorities later part. He tried to talk about the what kind of democracy. Democracy has to be seen not by making laws, and state has to be bring the change in our society, and also moral. We have law. One has to see that one. It is a moral consensus should be criteria to look for the democracy, and also not against the majoritarian communal majoritarianism. He is arguing for the way minorities has to play a role. Minority means democracy means not the majoritarian politics. Today people are claiming it is defending the weak. Such level he tried to talk about. And against the majoritarian, communal majoritarian, he argues for the political majoritarian, where they can be that recognize the plurality and that recognize the real principles of the democracy and all that kind of bring the people together. One kind of different kind of public culture he anticipated and to for that one. I don't want to deal about that one. Let me come to the other point. And let me see to that where we can discuss about the today, why the importance of Ambedkar. Again, today we are known very well, both is a political level and a philosophical level. People try to talk about people, the way our culture, tradition is appealing words today. Yes, because of we didn't understand properly. We underestimate that one. In the name of irrationality, in the name of immorality, we may be ignored. But at the same time, but we have to recognize the living tradition, good tradition, bad tradition, and religions also evaluate, but to submit. Today we are living in the world of religious nationalism, is a deadly combination of religion and politics. In other words, reinforcement of the social custom, tradition as a governing principle. This conservative ideology counters all other liberal and radical ideologies. Both liberals and radicals have no clue of this kind of politics, how to deal with, because of enlightenment ideologies against religion, tradition, culture. They underestimate the power of tradition, culture, and customs. The Ambedkar recognized long back religion. Today, very difficult to counter. Some of the Hindu nationalists are Christian nationalists, Islamic nationalism, everywhere. This is a phenomenal in the world. They become a rallying point. And there it is a really Ambedkar long back tried to see that one, but at the same time, the kind of religion it is going on in the name of myths, not history, the not even the moral sense doesn't it have that one. It's taken for granted, even though a lot of differences, lot of other issues are there. Never taking note of the social life and material kind of culture, but in the name of the religion, what is going on. But Ambedkar recognized long back religion as a source, like a John Dewey, like Edmund Burke. They recognize them part. Of course, it differs with Edmund Burke, since he's typical conservative thinkers. He said that when French Revolution ignites the will of the God. He is not that kind of approach. But at the same time, he recognized the force, importance of the religion. Such level he identified. John Dewey recognized the importance. He's talking about the common faith and democratic kind of religion he talk about. Such level he understood that one, even though that is a where liberal tradition is a prominent in a Western societies, there itself they recognize, he pick up that point, like John Dewey. He sees religion as social force that move towards normativity. If you look at the growth of religion, always moving towards the normative. That's what he recognized. Rather than identifying the dead traditions, antique religion, he argues in favor of living tradition or religion that stands for morality and rationality. And it is that's why he developed that one. The where, but where he talk about Hindu social order, not even a qualified religion. Such a statement he make it. And Hindu social order is a ladder of caste placed one above the other, representing an ascending scale of hatred and descending scale of contempt and all. That's what he tried to look at that one, and also he argue for the reflexive morality and the way the Hindu social order, it is designed for the privileged people and as Superman. But rather than Superman, he tried to look for the common man, and rather than rules, the all Indian philosophy looks for the rules. Either rules means what to follow, either Upanishadic or Mimamsikas. They try to start rules. You follow this agra, these rules, you do this one, so you get the moksha and all. It is not for the not dharma and all. They may give different names, the different meanings of dharma. Later they try to give it. In fact, it is only they have to follow that one. Varnashrama dharma. You have to follow this one. You have to do this one. And such level, they try to look at not rules. It is the principles are important. If annihilation of the caste, if you read it closely, principles are important to understand society and also some principles so that you are responsible, not by divine sanctity, not a fatalism. He tried to propose that one. Then in the process, he later identified with the place of that kind of religion. He maybe looks for the Buddhism also reconstructing that Buddhism, such a level it is there and all. I know how much time it is there. It is. I will try to make some more points.
Yeah, you have a time. You could carry on. You have a time.
Thank you.
There is plenty of time. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Then I will see to that at least. I can engage more for the discussion, but let me talk some more points where I would like to discuss about the Indian academics. And where Indian academics, what we can see to that, yeah. The people raise the very particularly Dalit scholars. I don't want to say Dalit scholars, the Indian scholars, like Gopal Guru, Vivek, or even Karunya, and many of the people, the conscious scholars, they raise certain kind of pertinent questions about the kind of academic activities going on in this country. At least Ambedkar's philosophy, it is a Dalit movement, and also it is Ambedkar's philosophy. Dalit movement is carried in the name of Ambedkar. or it is they give the strength for them to raise the questions, certain questions and all. The where Gopal Guru argue that one how egalitarian our Indian social sciences in India. Vivek Kumar, the sociologist from the Jawaharlal Nehru University, how egalitarian is Indian sociology. These kind of questions, not only individuals, it is there, there's representative of the kind of scholarship in India, which is emerged today. They raise these questions, at least to raising the questions. So it doesn't mean that we are totally changed the discourses, totally it is carried, become an Indian social system, social science knowledge, become egalitarian. I don't think that is happened and all, but at the same time, they get the courage to question that one, that is the credibility of the Ambedkar, are people inspired by the philosophy of Ambedkar, where very particularly, where caste people are ignored about that one, making the system insulated and not to discuss in it. Privately, they're carrying, publicly, they don't want to be discussed, is making it as a sensitive, delicate. Let us not talk about that one, the so caste system. And there we can see that these are the people, they make it as a point, they shattered this myth, and the kind of it is there. There it is, as you know it very well. The last 50 years of experience, somewhere is written 2002. The article is written by Gopal Guru. Our 50 years as experience, our institutions maybe started somewhere 1950s. Maybe that time we can start the kind of the university systems is maybe well established. We can see to that one. That shows that one, it is what means 100 years back minimum. The experience shows the social hierarchy dividing the vast inferior masses academics who consider theoretical pundits, which reflect the capacity which makes them intellectually superior to the former. And it is the theoretical pundits and the Brahmins and academic sodras, laborers, he tried to talk about where it is. Um, uh, yeah. Yeah, he the division between the theoretical Brahmins and also empirical Sudras, then critiquing the theoretical claims made by on behalf of Dalits by non-Dalits, and the Brahminical blindness of academic writings has, however, started change. That's what he tried to talk about: the academic blindness and this kind of approach. In the old social science debate, our students used to do field work. And the theory, most of the time, they now, because of the situation, many Dalit students, it is enter into the university, they say you do Dalit stuff. People also, our students also very much eager test. We want to do research in this one. Since I'm talking, let me talk about that. Then they say that they don't want to guide you. And they conveniently see to that one, somewhere Dalit faculty will be there, they send it to the Dalit faculty. And they'll see to the both Dalit student and Dalit faculty also see they don't never studies, they don't have this one, they don't have academic skills like it. The fellow who have the academic skills is always misleads. Always he says that what to do, what not to do, and this is not the way. Always try to bring that kind of sensibility to the Brahminical framework somewhere other in the name of research, in the name of some other argument. You have to consider them, you have to take note. Where we quote, we have to quote all the people who are available, the people, and all who talk about M.L. Srinivas, or is Andre Betle, or it is Deepankar Gupta, or some other might be there. They have their limitations. Without even making questioning their limitations, we also brings them back to that one and all. And at the same time, the kind of theory in the context of this one, you want to give the theory, and you want to develop that kind of theory, and we never to be critical about the system, never see the kind of the violence involved, never see the kind of the politics involved. On such level, you try to the theory they try to develop, and then we have to follow. The students used to go for later. That's why we have seen in the name of field work. For earlier, it is talking about the textual study. The whole sociology or other disciplines, they started textual analysis or textual and hermeneutic. They try to talk about, they try to consider it whatever the textually, they try to talk about some Puranas, that is real, like that they try to enforce on us. And but the textual analysis now taking care of this now to level of the field study, either textual study or field study, we never see the kind of assumptions are not changed. They never try to see the concrete reality, never develop the conceptual tools. And we never even take into consider lived experience of people, at least scholars' experience and all that is not there. This is the way strategy where we can see that kind of thing where it is the people like we can try to talk about domination is also reflected in the methodology, epistemology, and pedagogy of the subject of the sociology, like that we try to talk about. Then apart from that one, what are the people try to talk about? If some of the people, most of the people, they never try to discuss about the caste system. Even the people try to talk about the caste system, the way the GS Gure, you know it very well. And all. It is maximum level, essentially the caste system ignoring the change in lived realities. And the caste as seen by the people, both structuralist and functionalist, MNC, Sanskritization, the way the process by which lower caste adopt practice of higher caste to gain the upward mobility, like that. They try to talk about same theory where Ambedkar long back try to talk about imitation, which is there. The same, he had taken a different level. He tried to talk about he named it as a Sanskritization, and imitation of the infestation can be seen as that he tried to see it as a part of it is a caste as a seen as a the stabilizing institutions. And his conceptual that one, it is dominant caste, Sanskritization, explained mobility within the caste hierarchy. But then we see that is the marker like that. Then this way one has to moving like that. We also believe that yes, the Dalits are moving. They want to be like that. They are also imitating that one. But if you give the different framework, it is why don't you see different? They have different kind of knowledge, understanding, and different strategies are there that we never try to look at that one. And there the functionalists try to talk about the each caste has to perform functions so that social stability is there, order is there, social cohesion is there and all like that. Or division of labor, social rules, group identities, that way they justified. Then other level, the people like Dumo, structuralists they try to talk about, and the underlying symbolic, that caste as underlying their approach is the underlying symbolic and cultural structures that shape and organize that caste system. And they examine the structuralist examine the deep of unconscious systems of the meaning that sustain hierarchies. You know it very well. How funny it is that purity and pollution as a principle to understand that one by the structures to understand. You never try to see that one structure related to agencies and also undergoing change. Yeah, at least post-structuralists a little bit changed. People like Foucault and other people. And is the structuralists they try to the kind of approach what they try to see that one. And the caste understood as a cultural code, not just as a social and economic institutions. The most of them they neglect the overemphasis on the ideology and ritual that downplay the economic exploitation, political power, and social struggles. The idealizing the Brahmin perspective and ignoring the caste as a system of the material inequality, that is what is the argument where we try to look at that one. The where inequalities, exclusion, violence, we never see that one. They were surfaced in their kind of scholarship and all. Even some other people they try to talk about invisibility of the caste system and how it is there. People like Satish Deshpande, some other people like even the Jodka, they try to here and there some kind of the poking it is there. These are the issues, something like that it is there. But we can see that one, even though the change took place in the scholarship, we have to totally change this. The maximum level, we try to talk about this is an optional paper. The caste, like this research scholars engage with the Dalit scholars, that they never feel that that is equally responsible of the scholar, any scholar who claims as a scholar, knowledge systems. It doesn't mean that talking about Dalits, I don't have I'm not part of that one, I don't have knowledge means, then what way you are engaged with the knowledge? That means you sustain your vested interest and that kind of knowledge, that your interest is there, how to suppress, how to exploit the system is it a knowledge? But never we have to be taking as a larger part of Indian knowledge system. Now today is going on, a lot of hype is going on in the name of Indian knowledge systems. In the name of Indian knowledge system, again, Brahminical knowledge systems has to be taken over. And the kind of thing. They never see that one, how knowledge is generated, productive classes. The where either knowledge or culture or history created and produced by these people, the toiling masses, they never acknowledge that one. You come, your culture means from some books, some Dharma Shastra, some culture, some kind of the remote, it is useless text, it is invalid text, some in the name of Apaurusha, in the name of some kind of nonsense, you try to valorizing that one. That kind of knowledge system, I don't know what kind of Indian knowledge systems, and we don't see the tribals and Dalits and women, We never be part of this kind of. In fact, they are removed systematically. We have seen our sociology departments, history departments talking about anything, talking about Muslim on other level. It is you say that one is a long historically consolidated prejudice. Can say that one. You talking about you remove the caste, you remove the gender, you talking about the nuclear family. These are the issues that I talk about. Let us not talk about. They want to give the impression of the Vasudhaika Kutumbam. They want to give the impression about the great civilization and culture and great religion. It is there sustained for a long time and it is universal like that. It is nothing. They never be recognized. They never reach the level of universal. Universal means it is transcending the concrete reality and realize to come towards that level. Universality means doesn't mean negating the concrete reality. Universality doesn't mean anything. The principles concept doesn't mean anything unless until connecting the concrete social reality. And at the same time, in the name of that one, you're talking about unity in diversity, but never recognize unity, diversity. This is a situation. That's why the people should be very much careful about carrying with this kind of language, this kind of the junk, this kind of the fake knowledge systems and fake culture. One should be, the scholars has to be very careful about that one. And it is the way the Ilya made one point. Dalit Bahujans produce food, tools, and ideas, but are never recognized as the thinkers. The future belongs to those who produce food, not those who produce mantras. Like that, the where he tried to look at that one. In other scholars also, the people like Jayshree Gokhale or Gail Omet or Gellner, they make a different kind of point. At least academically, they got respectability. We got it at least because the either to look at that one, they're fascinated with the Ambedkar. They're fascinated with the Pule. They're fascinated with the Periyars in southern parts of part. And emphasize the caste is not a cultural difference, a system of socio-economic exploitation. And that level, they try to talk about as a part of social movements. And that level, we can see the people, the way they give some kind of credibility. That one, today's the point is biggest challenge is for academics is that one, not just recognize forcefully has to come out. But even the university, they can stop. But at the same time, it is not only India. Knowledge means it is not confined to the one particular university. You can make because of somebody powerful, strong. It is this government is that this one kind of particular government. It is there. We can make, but it is not. They can't contain that one. We are lot of space. It's there outside the academia. The most of our knowledge systems produce outside the academia. Even though you are failed to recognize, like even you don't want to forcefully don't want to recognize, that is not a matter. Outside the recognize, outside the university is there. You can write your social media. You can make it at some other level. You can write a good journals, good articles and all. Whatever the scope of journal you asking, that is the standard. There you can make a point. Even though that space we have to be utilized, and also it is not only we also develop the conceptual tools with the where Ambedkar's engagement with not just only in the name of Ambedkar, a lot of things are going on. But in the name of Ambedkar says and women shares, you know it very what is going. But there's a possibility to rethink, rework. Of course, the space is shrinking. There's no possibility, but at the same time, one can get the space. Now today, so many scholars are coming out and all. In the Indian scholars outside India, they got the familiarity just working. They got the academic credentials only just because of working on the caste system or Indian society by giving the new meaning and all. Simply some way they try to interpret some kind of theories. This is a part of critical theory or part of some other critical race theory. And the or feminist theory as a part of that language they created by the West. And they try to relook about Indian society. Such people, you can see non-Dalit scholars which are very talking about this one, that they become got importance it is there and all. That's why but there also we can see they don't have the experience. They may be try to understand, maybe sympathetic with the Dalit cause, and they may be sympathetic to the Ambedkar, but always some way they try to some way forcefully try to locate along with the Gandhi or locating some other level. I don't know how very often people, whenever try to talk about Ambedkar, it immediately brings out the Gandhi and all. We never try to talk about Gandhi in relation to the Ambedkar. But whether Gandhi, Ambedkar is an autonomous thinker, we can make it as a point on claim what is the strength of that one. That is a later level. One can look at the where it is either Gandhi and Ambedkar complementary or not. That is a different issue. What way it is there. That is one level. But other level, my point is that even the Western political theory is in a crisis because of largely it is founded on liberalism or individualism or the kind of universalism equal, all human beings are equal, irrespective of caste and gender, but ignoring the caste, gender, and all. That's why Charles Smith said it is a liberalism, is a racial liberalism he tried to talk about. And it is ignoring about the feminists also equally they try to talk about. The politics of recognition, they try to talk about the recognition, and Charles Taylor also make a point and all. The politics of difference against universalism. They're talking about the dignity. That's why the reorientation of the academics, talking about the philosophy actually started from ethics should be the first philosophy. That means it is not the slavery, justifying the slavery. It is a social recognition, self-respect, and human dignity. That should be the starting point for the philosophy. Not isolation, not varnashram dharma, not purusharthas, not these are things like that. Still, we are holding that one. And Indian political theory, no political theory, it is there. We start and ends with the one kind of theory, Kautilya, it is. That man, what kind of cunningness theory it is there and all, but we try to, no political theory. Why no political theory means? Political philosophy means you have the vision of just society and good society. Good society means you have to be critical about the society where we are living. They don't have the capacity, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do these privileges. That's why it is still engaging with that kind of approach. It is there. That's why we didn't see any kind of social political philosophy. But people like Ambedkar, they are people like Phule, and they're critical about the Brahmanism and they're critical about the capitalism, and they give the new meanings to the politics and political theory. And not only critical about liberalism, and also people like Ambedkar, they understood that one, we can't reduce it to the economy. The economic, like the Marxists, they try to do that one. You have to other for power is not only the economy. Power is also located in the name of social status, in the name of the religion. He identified like a Weber. The class, it doesn't mean that not only economy. He tried to look at in a different level. It is not only economy makes that one, it is also human beings, also human actions also plays important role. And there we can see the politically. Then now today, you know it very well, communitarians are very much is critical about communitarian got its own importance, critical about the both liberalism and also even radicalism. Also, they're talking about the social should be the any kind of policy should be based on the community and social bonding, social cap. The social is important priority like that. They try to talk about. Ambedkar also equally tried to communitarian tone we can see. At the same time, he was nurtured in liberal tradition, but also try to take about the communitarian tone. In fact, when Western theory, political theory came to dead end in a crisis, and he tried to relook in the kind of thing, the where it's overcoming that crisis by connecting the mediating between the liberalism and communitarianism. One can see even the way politics are engaged with the culture and tradition, and the way if I talk about the emancipation and human dignity, and this is the way based on some kind of good community, moral community, it can be seen. That is a breathing space for political theory. Not only just India, we can recognize whether Indian political theory is there or not. In Western, the larger political theories contribution it is there and all. Let me come to the last point, final point. I want to make complete within 4 or 5 minutes, so that we can have some more questions. When come to the political level, what happens? Ambedkar has struggled, politically struggled, engaged, not just academically engaged, and I will write one, I'll write poetry, I will write some kind of article, not like that. He's time permanently engaged. His politics, his theory, all as a part of the political struggles he came there. Whatever the books it is there and all, whatever the writings are there. There we can see from the Depressed Class Association to Roundtable Conference and also Viceroy Representative and scheduled the Independent Labour Party and also the Scheduled Caste Federation, Republican Party, and the Bahishkut Bharat Prabhupada. Then you see the conversion to the Buddhism. And we have to see all these things as a part of his politics and also, struggles. And as a constitution making, his intervention, or it is as a law minister making Hindu code bill an issue. These are issues you have to see as a larger part of the politics. Is academics has to be seen as a part of struggles, or struggles and academics has to be seen as a step towards the mobilization, or it is the liberation of the people, empowerment of the marginalized, oppressed people who are the kind of liberating from the undemocratic social set, to which is a step towards the democratized society from the undemocratic social setup where we are living. But today they are compelled to look them. One is that it is, as I told already, what the Hindutva forces I talk about. It is the religious nationalism that is a strong point they had. That way, in a global society, globalization time, it is become, well, people feel the loss of self. It is there, and that way they capturing the appealing the our culture, our traditions like that. It might be there. But at the same time, but the, say that is one level one can see to that. When come to the other level, alternative movements like the left movements that I talk about, the kind of theoretization. It is a caste is a super structure. It is not the material kind of reality like that. It is there for long time theoretization. It is there. But however, they are compelled to only class less society. It is possible and all. But they never try to look at the how class is formed. What are the hurdles for forming the class? Ambedkar is not against the class. He tried to talk about he tried to largely identify the Marxism, even theoretizing also. He tried to talk about revolution, counter-revolution, Hindu struggle between Buddhism and Hinduism, such level he tried to mark about superficially, but never ignored, and also bring the relation between the dialogue between the Buddhism and Marxism also he tried to work out. Doesn't mean that he is ignored totally. He tried to see that one, it is a class struggle. What are the hurdles for the making the caste? Even he tried to talk about you making the nation, it is not possible. Caste is ultimately starting point, and it's caste become a starting point and point of public. Your class, everything is start and end with the caste only. No public is possible, no nation is possible. Even though nationalism without nation, that's what even Aloysius also tried to talk about. And there's no possibility to form the class, first of all, that we are trying to ignore. Even now also we don't want to ignore that. People may be sympathetic certain issues and all, about the maybe concerned about there's a part of the workers, toiling masses, Raitu coolies. They may be, but never see a significant effort to be questioning the caste system. It is not there. Even they try to talk about immediately today, the context we can see all the political parties appropriating Ambedkar for the misappropriation. Selective appropriation it is there, and largely they claims the way everybody organization also they understood that one Dalit will go out of that one. You have to keep the photo of Ambedkar, even the Hindu parties, even the communist parties also for long time. Even the Ambedkar from 1920s it is there, but it is not. But at the same time, the way they appropriated, the way I can tell, everybody has started the organizations in late 90s onwards. Where it is Revolutionary Party, Reckless Party, having the Kolnirmal Porad Samiti, CPM kind of Koliveksha Porad Samiti, and like that everywhere they talking about the branch office they started, SCST branch of Congress like that. And it is the way they try, they never see this one, this politics. You have to be see the larger politics, larger think tank level, our political theory, our ideology itself, the issue it has to be there. Largely Indian societies, it is casteist society, apart from other level, class, gender, other issues are there. But how to take in the part of, not some Dalits will be there, they mobilize, they will take care of that one, certain issues are there, that is not there. Even Hindutva parties, other parties in Congress, they have to take care of such that kind of theorization they started. It is not the responsibility of the Dalits have to be overcome suffering and fight. It is equally responsible of others. That's why Gandhi's importance will be there and all. That's why people talk about, but at least that level you have to take the responsibility. But interestingly, the people's were that where it is an excellent party came with the conclusion that one Ambedkar has to be seen two different levels. Initially is all right, progressive, later he became a conservative, is now very useful and is a liberal. Then ultimately they branded him as a liberal bourgeoisie. By saying liberal bourgeoisie, not issue at all. Most of our Indian knowledge systems and scholarships is flourished from the liberal kind of conditions only. That is no doubt about that one. At the same time, they gave the new meaning to liberalism. India scholars like Ambedkar and talking about the caste become a radical that they know it, they have to know about that one. When the situation we are not talking about liberal bourgeois, by saying that liberal bourgeois, they're telling us he's not radical, he was a liberal bourgeois. We want to bring the more revolution and also larger society, classless society, everybody will be happy. That level, of course, people like Satyamurthy and others, they resisted about this, Andhra, at least they resisted about this kind of identification. The fellow who has written in the name of the party, some fellows has written, the scholarly knowledge people definitely know it very well. And they critical about liberal bourgeoisie. Some people try to talk about people like Ranganayakama in Telugu society. For Dalit question, it is Ambedkar is not enough, Buddha is not enough. We need the marks like that. It I talk about. And their intentions is very much. Then immediately a lot of market is created for from the left circles and all for this kind of book, this kind of things. And in people like Anand Teltim is also appropriated because of he has a different kind of approach. He's critiquing about the Dalit movement because of some other reasons. It has to be not confined to the birthday celebrations and death day, death anniversary, and it has to be questioning Ambedkar's symbol of radicality. Is a symbol questioning it is there. You have to be comfortable, not just for loyalty as a part of the larger political parties. Like it has to be questioning. You have to struggle. Like that, it is there. That way is critical about that one. Is equally critical about the left parties also. It is the left parties also never try to make a point that level. It is. But the thing is that the people's intentions are very much is important. Where they try to talk about, where to look at Ambedkar. That is the one aspect. Very much careful it is there. But there is serious significant attempt also can be seen. The way after Rohit issue, they understood that their kind of structures may be collapsing, the left circles or parties and all because of with the Dalit movement, very particularly after the BSP politics, Bahujan Samaj parties, they give the new language. The strength of Ambedkar also can be seen. How far they carried Ambedkar ideology, that is a different issue. But symbolically, they came forward. This is in the name of Ambedkar. Ambedkar politics, you can see in the contemporary times, largely articulated in the Bahujans. They try to talk about the majority. We are majority. SC, ST, BC, minority. And caste as a social reality. We have to organize that one. But but of course, how far they are in a position to bring like a class, how far bring out the alliance between the different communities. Even within the Dalit community is also very difficult. Forget OBCs and other, even the Bahujan you are talking about. And it's the difficulty it is there. It doesn't mean that the political party which is coming to the power also can make the effort that one. People try to talk about, Ambedkar try to talk about the political power is important, master key try to talk about. After really, that slogan it is there, we forget the arithmetic political arithmetic, we try to ignore that one. After not getting that one, people be disillusioned. And the kind of politics also, the kind of ordeals they created, you know it very well. But is created the political kind of the crisis is created political parties. Yes, there's a possibility of organizing the people this level and also even the political power, what we try to talk about. And there's also possibility to enter that one. That way they threatened. But at the same time, one has to see the political parties, the potential of Ambedkar. And where Ambedkar talk only getting the power, renunciation of the power also part of his politics. And everyday contesting, questioning and all these things, very much it is there. And the political power is not only that one. Power has to see in the morality, good society, just society. The power means the everyday social relations, one sense of equality, sense of recognition, sense of belongingness, sense of respect. And that is very much is important. That kind of politics is also the possibility it is there. We don't know how far it is there, but in the country today, even though one day everything is going in the name of Ambedkar, even literature also, I don't know how far they internalize the philosophy of Ambedkar. But at the same time, Ambedkar has a anchoring point for all politics and all. It is there. And it is also one has to see that one they created impulse, the one kind of repels in the stagnated kind of the world views. And that is the strength of Ambedkar. But at the same time, how far they carried and how far the reception is there. At the same time, reactionary trends also there. How to oppose this one and all. That is a real challenge. Even without even it is at the inception level itself, there is also serious attempt to how to negate, how to overthrow this, how to erase the memory of Ambedkar political, symbolically we can have as a statute is there and all, but as a substance level, it is not recognized. Both, Dalit parties and other parties and all, everything, that issue also there, they need to be interrogate ourselves. And there is a to have the, not just for the fascination for Ambedkar, to have the good society, just society, democratic society, decent society. Still Ambedkar as a relevance. There's no other than Ambedkar in this country as a scholar, extensively worked out, and also the kind of theory, either practically, is how it is helpful to growth of our academics. I believe his ideal of the relation of the caste, or understanding whatever so far I try to talk about relation between the social, political, and religion, and morality, and this plays a significant role or Indian academics and politics. And politics, we are looking for the emancipation and empowerment. It is very difficult to ignore Ambedkar. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for a wonderful lecture. Thank you, sir, for a wonderful lecture. The lecture started from Dr. Ambedkar, Create a Crisis in Indian Academia, and you touched all the aspects of like religion, social, and political. And it was a very new experience for all of us that you engage with such kind of an important issues which need to be addressed nowadays. And the present Indian academia, what's going started from the knowledge system which Indian academia is talking about, and how the Dalits and Dr. Ambedkar is cognitively blackout in this system. That was a very wonderful lecture, very enriching for all of us. Thank you for this. Now I request Professor Karunakara sir to please comment and please say something on this. And after that, after Professor Karunakara sir, we will have a question answer session. Thank you, Professor Karunakara sir.
Yeah, Professor Kesava Kumar, Department of Philosophy, University of Delhi, is known to me for past more than 20 years. What was he when I invited 20 years back to Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow? I was a HOD of the Department of History. So we had Ambedkar Jayanti, what is that, a conference. So he was there to deliver a lecture. So it was a wonderful paper which he already talked about it in his initial beginning of in the beginning of his lecture today. What was what was the Dr. Kesava Kumar that time? Even today, Professor Kesava Kumar is the same. Very, very, very eloquent, clarity of the thought, and no interruption of ideas. It's a continuous flow of ideas, very compelling argument. Professor Kesava Kumar, I really appreciate. You have justified of inviting to this platform Karunikar Institute of Dalit Knowledge. You have rightly pointed out there are many avenues now available outside the established academic spaces to generate the knowledge and and to disseminate and to produce and disseminate the knowledge. Well, this is the Karunikar Institute of Dalit Knowledge, is one of that kind of effort and initiative. So outside the established academic spaces, academic establishments, this is the institute that catering to the needs of the scholars to listen to the seniors who are already well versed in different aspects, different subjects. So this space, this platform, providing that space to not only the senior scholars who worked in Ambedkar and Dalit knowledge, and engaging with the young scholars. That's the main motive. It's like a bridge, making a bridge between the senior scholars and professors, and bringing the young scholars to one platform, and engaging them in a serious academic and intellectual scholarly discussion. This is the motive of the mandate of this institute. Thank you, Professor Kesava Kumar. It's a really wonderful lecture. With the sincerity, I appreciate you once again. And where there is nothing you left. You have touched upon all the aspects, how to put it very genuinely and authentically, Ambedkar. You have given actually a lens, Ambedkar lens, something called Ambedkar lens to the scholars and participants of to the today's lecture. Once again, I appreciate. It's a wonderful, and I'm sure that the participants and benefited a lot. I could see one senior professor also participating in this lecture, Professor Rakesh Kumar. I think he must be there. Professor Rakesh Kumar, Department of Philosophy. Yeah, Department of Philosophy from University of Lucknow. So it's really wonderful to have him here. Yes, thank you very much once again to the today's our resource person, and I am sure I expected this kind of lecture. I expected from Professor Keshav Kumar, and he really did a wonderful job. There's no doubt in it. Thank you once again, Professor Keshav Kumar. Yeah, Akash.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now this forum is open for question answer session. So those who want to ask a question, please raise your hands. Yeah, there is a name Ravi. Ravi Kumar, please go ahead.
At the outset, thank you for mesmerizing lecture. Am I audible?
Yeah, Ravi, all right.
Is this Dr. Ravi Kumar from BBIU?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Please introduce yourself so that the others will be benefited over your identity. We can't see your face. Adjust your phone. Yes, right. Professor Ravi. Yeah, Professor Ravi Kumar, please.
Myself, Professor Ravi Kumar, I'm currently HOD of Department of History, BBIU, Ambedkar University, and I would like to thank my guru, Professor Karanekara, because Karanekara is almost like my guru, who has appointed me as a lecturer in the department. And then I'm equally delighted to see Professor Keshav Kumar, because he happens to be one of my super seniors, and then we had a very nice interaction in Hyderabad University. And then delighted to see his lecture, wonderful lecture. I can't withhold my temptation for asking him questions anyway. I have a couple of questions. If Karanekara permits me, I will pose a couple of questions to Professor Keshav Kumar. Am I, sir?
Yeah, you are permitted. It's your pleasure. It's our pleasure and privilege to have questions from you.
My first is observation, not a question. My first observation is, see, now what is happening right now, we see the kind of crisis in Ambedkarism, whether you accept it or not. So this we also know from where these crises are coming up. Crisis to Ambedkarism as an ideology, as an epistemology. When there is a crisis from opponents, in fact, then how Dalit intellectuals react to those crises. That's what I was more interested to listen that from you. How Dalit intelligentsia at present, I would like to know from you, trying to reinvent Ambedkarism in tune with relentless criticism, relentless appropriation of Ambedkarism into right-wing ideology is taking. That's what my first question is. Very simple, Professor Keshav Kumar. I would like to know from you that how Dalit intellectuals are trying to rediscover, reinvent Ambedkarism in order to counter the appropriative strategies of right-wing politics in India right now. That's my question number one. And then my question number two. Can I go ahead?
Yes.
My question number two is, if you look at volume 5 of Ambedkar, collected works of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, where he mentions, I forgot his article name, but there is something called Indian Civilization. He writes 5 pages piece on Indian civilization, where he mentions that in India, class politics eventually the framework with which the oppressed sections are going to gain access to political power. He mentions about Adivasis, he mentions about backward caste, he mentions about minorities, he mentions about the needless to say that. So somehow he comes up with some kind of theory that at some point of time all these oppressive sections should come forward. How Dalit intellectuals are trying to carry forward this Ambedkar project of Bahujanization of Indian society. I think you are the apt person to reflect upon that. So thank you very much for time. Looking forward to listen from you.
Thank you, Ravi. After a long time, I'm seeing you. Good to see you. And yeah, it is definitely this is the questions of everybody, and not only you and also answers. Also, it is not there. You know it very well. We're talking when discussing about answers. That means some hope have to be given, and somehow this way, some kind of process has to be somewhere has to be started. That is the only answer. The crisis in Ambedkarism, crisis is not in Ambedkar. It is not their crisis. The people who try to carry the politics or knowledge in the name of Ambedkar, that problem it is there. The space for them, it is a serious issue. It is there. And the very particularly, most of us in a political terms, we see to that one. We have to come to the power. We are not came to the power, and we see the how BSP it is there, and how our other levels, various kind of issues are there, and why the people are not coming together. Why there's a fragmentation it is there. How to bring the difficulties between the people, different subcaste, Mahas and Bangs, and also Malas and Madigas, Chamas versus all make other people. This is issue also in time of Ambedkar is also there. How formation of the class is of difficulty in form bring the people oppressor castes also very difficult together. And at the same time, generally it is carrying with the dominant politics. It is easy and all. They'll get some power. They may be identified with the ruling classes, ruling parties. They may get some kind of power. Doesn't mean that they totally carried and also justified. That is an issue. It is there. And when come to that is one issue. How far, what aspects of Ambedkar carried forward? What is the feasibility and possibility of the Ambedkar it is made them? How we are introduced? And what aspect of Ambedkar it is introduced to the political parties, apart from symbolically identified? That is one issue. Second issue is that, as you rightly pointed out, yes, how to reinventing ideology. The reinvention is Ambedkar in a public level, how far it is there, and given situation, political platforms, how to fight out, how to work out against the atrocities, against the kind of reactionary ideas. That is a very challenging task. Then it comes to the other level, it is intellectuals, Dalit intellectuals are reinventing. That is a problem. Where it is is there a link between the Dalit intellectuals? Even Karunekar struggled a lot, even to make a point, also as intellectual support to give into a way rising phenomena, UP also. Is it a possibility of link? It is there. Even intellectual class means university professor, teachers, or it is the conscious public, or writers and all. We never see, even the Dalit writers would identify that one, even though they came with the Ambedkarism as ideology, but we very failed to see that one. What aspect of Ambedkar? Of course, doesn't mean that they don't have sense of understanding of Ambedkar. It is there. Ordinary people also doesn't mean they were not blindly worshipping Ambedkar, but they have some sense it is there. But explicitly articulating, making them these are ideas we're convincing, still it is not, we are not opened up the Ambedkar to the public, his ideas, and also how to carry forward ideas, how to critically engaging with his ideas, not just whatever Ambedkar has to say, what Ambedkar I don't tell, be critical about Ambedkar, how dare you can, not like that. That kind of approach, it is kind of approach is also very much it is some kind of gap. I always find the gap between the Dalit intellectuals that it is there, and the gap between the Dalit parties, Dalit intellectuals with the Ambedkar, which is law. That is one. Today we can see we also have to be think about seriously. Is there any kind of the Ambedkar and scholarship? It is there. Scholarship in the sense, it is not what we reproduce. Most of us, I also try to reproduce what Ambedkar said. This one you have seen. How to be the critical interpretation of Ambedkar, how to look at. In Gopal Guru, little bit tried somewhere and all, but to make as a full-fledged system, as academic enterprises, there's some way they give. There may be so many, not so easy and all. So, or the time not permit their engagement with that one. Not single scholar has to do this one. It is a collective activity, different levels, different. That is also there. That's why even the small activities taking. Then we are immediately carrying that one. That below become a great intellectual for us. But that there it is. The institutional space is important. Our engagement is important, and reading of Ambedkar is important. And how many of us will be read Ambedkar also? Very recently only it is reached to us Ambedkar the writings, and how we are engaged with that one, and also knowing engaging with you have to some kind of tools, conceptual. We are not that much. We are also learning process. We also need courage to develop the critical consciousness, and also developing the concept is very much is important. We also see within the system some kind of flexibility, some adjustment, amendments will do that one. It is requires a totally radical kind of the conceptual understanding. If that kind of thing space is one has to constraint, it is there. Recognition is important. Epistemology, as you told me, epistemological level, whether that recognition it is a possibility, it is there, it is our academic labor is important, and also space is also important. More than that, it has to be much more practically and seriously, objectively, and also the academic kind of significance also very much is important. And how the same kind of ideology, then we will come to the ideology, how to connect to the political struggles. That is a challenge. Then right wing politics, it is there. Doesn't mean that, yeah, various reasons are there. It is where Dalits are very militantly carry forward the ideology, a reactionary ideology. That is a pathetic situation. But at the same time, we also have to find the reasons for that one. In the name of where we want to come out of that one, where we want to differentiate that one. Other people is not that much. It doesn't that kind of militant. People who are gaining the benefit of the system doesn't require this kind of militancy. They're getting all the people, they're getting jobs in the name of that. By virtue of that one, I feel everybody claims that I am, these parties are like that, they're telling. The poor fellow, even the OBC or Dalit fellow is a flag bearers of that reactionary ideas. Still they can't benefit that one. The fellow never be other fellow, it will be the still getting the benefit out of that one. For that way, these people have to show on more and more visibility of that one is required. The visibility of the supporting this kind of ideology, and also they may claim of the Hindutva. The militancy of the Dalitism, it is diluted, watered down by making these people militants to the safeguard and secure safeguard to the Hindutva, the frontline workers. These people are there, like other political parties, like other party. Here also equally they are using these people. Doesn't mean that we can't blame the only political. These people are equally responsible. Only when, as you told, the crisis it is there, they're very difficult to come forward. When the strong force it is there in ordinary people, we have seen in the places like UP, even the Brahmins also joined the Bahujan Samaj Party. We never expected Brahmins will come forward and all. They have different reasons might be there and all. That's why when an event is declared and celebrated, then other forces will come forward. But the tragedy is that when a crisis time only, the where, at least forget about ordinary masses, the scholars has to be stand up there. The poets has to be come forward. And not for, even though they don't have, they create the space and they have to be come forward. If not today, people may ready to take up and all, not totally gave up and all. We have leadership may not be there today, Dalit leadership. The people are conscious. People may be going towards the reactionary level. People may be going with the film stars and all. It doesn't mean that they don't have the consciousness and all. When the situation is right, and some way it is, you have to create some kind of the confidence and the strength, sincerity, it is their leadership, it is there. And not one day I will carry, then I'll go with that one, that fellow, we are getting more benefit by let us vote. It is not like some confidence is created, such time people will follow. Doesn't mean that people are not just going, that they're observing, they're waiting for the time and all. They have to energy, they have to maintain that kind of strength and all. It is not so easy and all. They don't want, already the life is a miserable situation. They don't want to carry further this kind of suffering and antagonizing by antagonizing others. They don't want more and more problems. They always want to be little bit safe zone will be there. Safe zone means identified with the political style, where the power it is. The power may be politics, power may be religion, power may be in some other forms might be there. There they try to identify. That's what my understanding. It is not to full answer. I know it very well, but it is one kind
Thank you
of.
very much. I think I got it. Got it. Thank you very much, sir.
Any other questions? Is there any other questions? Anand Mohan. I request Anand Mohan, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Professor Kesava. And I'm actually a PhD student in Department of Philosophy, University of Delhi. And Professor Kesava had taught me in my master's also. And so yeah, I think, knows better about the philosophy and everything. Uh, and yeah, thank you for the insightful lecture on the Ambedkar Jayanti, and it was very insightful. My question was that we generally see that Ambedkar saw caste as not just a social hierarchy, but as a deeply embedded epistemic and institutional system that are there in our society. But today we see that many academic and political spaces celebrate Ambedkar symbolically only. But they are avoiding the structural reforms that we need. So my question is that how we can use the idea of Ambedkar to reclaim the transformative epistemology, uh, and also especially from the point of view of academic, not just political, and from the point of view of academic, yeah, but also where we see that in our like merit in our system of academic, we see the caste operates only as a in the name of merit only, not as a kind of a base for justice or as a base for transformation on a ground level. So how the idea of Ambedkar can truly change in that way, where yeah, so basically this is my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Question from my student Anand. Yeah, this is a serious question. Some people say that whether Ambedkar is epistemology or not, Ambedkar is a philosopher, that issues are there. People will talk about. As you rightly said, that one, this is a deeply in caste is a deep epistemic system, and there's a need to be structural, not symbolically, structural reforms has to be carried forward. That is, yes, most of us agree with that point. But the thing is that what makes them something epistemology, and what is the knowledge, and why, what kind of episteme, what kind of theory. For us, it very well, is a philosopher very often. They try to say for us, what is knowledge? Knowledge means it is mostly we are depending on apart from all pratyaksha, inference, and all these things, above all, it is the text carries authority. Authority plays a role. Authority means textual authority, that is sacred authority, or other way, it is a Vedic authority. That is the text. Then they try to talk about this infallible. We should not question that one. It is already tested long back. It is there. Rishis, ceremonies, they tested and all. That is the knowledge. The text has to be scrutinized in relation to the knowledge, but we never try to give the scope. But that way it is qualified as a knowledge and celebrating knowledge for a long time in today also. But you don't want to, that you are calling as a episteme, that epistemic system you are proposing and you are celebrating, this is the only way try to look at, this is the supreme knowledge, to realizing that one and all. Realizing the Brahman is supreme. And I don't know what that mean by Brahman. Brahman may be intellectual principle. We don't know where to locate. What does it mean? Is it a God? Is it something? Then you tell you are the Brahman and all. You are the Brahman. Why don't you talk directly about me? You are the Brahman, you are not God, you are not realizing and all. We don't talk about that way. One has to say where we are talking about the epistemic deep epistemic system, rather than we have to be looking from the only confined to the text and also principles. One has to look at the engaging with the concrete reality where either texts are produced or where the principles are evolved. People are extracted from the reality. There it is epistemic. There is a knowledge how it is generated and how it's produced, where the source of these texts, what intent, what kind of hope they want to get out of the fun. The religion gives some sense of hope. These texts are talking about, oh, Indra give that one, oh, this fellow give that one. That is the things only, no? They may be in a crisis, they may be in trouble. They want to understand that one. They want more flourishing of the life, and also it is agriculture. More and more agriculture activity should be there. Harvesting should be there. This is the initial level. Today it may be actually different level. They the source of knowledge, origin of knowledge. One has to identify that one. The production of knowledge systems. It is not from the by writing the papers and reproducing this one, by writing two, three books I read and I coming there and all, or some slokas, some mantras. It is that is not a knowledge and all. It is qualified as knowledge only when related to our social life. Not only social life, not once upon a time. That doesn't mean that this knowledge is not related. That is once upon life, social life experience. Vedas is nothing but a one kind of tribal lore and all. The society totally changed. And that kind of social experience, 3,500 years back experiences, now it is society changed and also new kind of demand. But you want to see the whole thing reducing to that kind of prism. That is the problem. The experience, so reality is changing. Knowledge has to be captured in the changing dynamics of the reality. There it is missing. That's why when I try to talk about Ambedkar as a system, Ambedkar, Marxist also makes sense. They try to talk about the knowledge in terms of production, like that they try to talk about. And as you told, deep epistemic sense, in the sense, these are the people, these are the communities, largely these communities, what you're talking, who are look negative and who are compelled to keep them in a slavery and not allowed to them to think. And these people, in fact, they produce the knowledge and all. The knowledge, even dance, drama, all these things. Later, you're writing some kind of grammar. Then you take this is a classical language, this is a classical dance, like they're talking about. Actually, it is the came from the people. And later you try to talk about a different framework and how it is how the knowledge and also culture and history, how it is a Brahminized, that is issue. To come out of that Brahminization, it is itself is a one kind of the recognizing the epistemic model system of this one. That is a way we can see the strength of Ambedkar. They gave lead. Doesn't mean that they totally give this way one has to look at least to they intervene, and this way one has to look at that one. Look at the epistemics. That is one I try to look at them. Then that kind of definitely, if you develop, that's why I'm telling. For that, you have to develop the concept and also decoding system, social system, and that plays a role for that it gives under new understanding, new orientation will give further, and then that makes eventually is a makes the sense of the making the bring the some kind of structural reforms. That is the idea.
Yes, Professor. Thank you. I think I got it.
Dr. Rakesh Pakliar, sir, please go ahead.
Thank you, Akash. Good afternoon, sir. Professor Kesava, sir. I am Rakesh Singh Fakliar, Assistant Professor, Dalit and Tribal Studies, Mahatma Gandhi, Hindi International University. Sir, thanks for, sir, you are giving valuable and informative lecture, sir. Your speech is about, sir, the power of B.R. Ambedkar, Indian academic and popular politics. Sir, I want to know, sir, these Ambedkar's literature and Ambedkar's writings are English only. And these times are going on debate on English is secondary language in in center any piece, many lectures and that. So I want to know you, sir. English medium of the learning empowers communities like Dalit, Adivasi, and OBC communities. And the majority of Ambedkar's writings are in English only. My curiosity is you about, sir. You agree with the view that English empowers the Dalit, Adivasi, and OBC communities, sir?
No, that is no. I don't want to. Yes, Rakesh, it is. First point is that Ambedkar literature, it is not just confined to English. Now almost to all the Indian languages, most of the prominent Indian languages, now it is at least writings are translated. It has to
Yes,
be
sir.
how to interpret that one. That is one. You are right in a sense. The most of the scholarly writings who are on Ambedkar's writings, who are reflected on that one, the scholarship on Ambedkar's, that may be mostly in English. That I agree that one. Most of the theories and people who are, of course, very less it is there. Even whatever written also, they got some kind of English, and coming from the above, some either JNU or Delhi University, Hyderabad University, or some foreign university, that kind of, they have their limited cities. They also want some kind of recognition, such level in Gopal Guru write in English. He understood the problem. There's a need to be translated into that is one aspect. Definitely making in English, because English become a power and English become a business, English become everything. Definitely English got its own importance. There's nothing wrong, and also, but at the same time, I believe the larger society, it is in a, of course, when you are confined to the English, the discussion between you and me and Karunikara and Akash only will be there. And a larger society who are there, we have to reach them. That's why Dalit writers are reached means because of they written their own languages. That's why the people, they respect them, recognize them. That is it. But scholarly kind of approach, writing in the vernacular language, regional languages, that is still lacuna. It is there. In the people who are, it is there also. They are, some limitations are there, and what is going on in other kind of, even I feel, even for me also, even feel difficult to read the what Aishwarya Kumar has written and all. The kind of English, and English is not a problem reading, and but where it is conceptual. Even the people like us, it is there means it is what is going on academically to discuss about Ambedkar to the local languages. That is a serious task, challenging task, and how to work out. And when many people, that's why sometimes more than our academic writings, as I told, Dalit writers, since they have insight, deep insight into society, they are more appealing than us. More, even though they are not being directly Ambedkar, whether they read Ambedkar or not, the sense, the insight, it is there. But I believe equally both. I'm not saying only, I don't want to keep the one line English against regional language. English, not try to talk about. Both are equally important wherever you feel that one. Each one has its own kind of operational strength. It is there. That's what I believe it. But at the same time, more and more regional level, it is very much is required. I don't want to subscribe the idea of our minister, but equally it's important and all. When it is there, and when the people, actually social system, whole system has to be changed and all. In unequal system making, and also knowledge is English become a power, and this power you are making others not to be entered. That is a serious challenge, task also it is there. It is very complex, that one. Our life, our art, for philosophy is nothing but a articulation of the inarticulation. We are so far not articulated social experience. That's what Charles Taylor talks about. You have to articulate. Articulation means language. Language means which you are familiar, which are reaching that one. That is important. And we know how struggling for us to speak in English, like forums like us. You know it very well. That at the same time, we are somewhere other, we are not even connected to our regional languages. We don't have the usage, vernacular language, usage language also it is not. Your language want to make the much more academic language and political language. That is one more exercise you have to do that one. Conceptually making our language, and we need the new vocabulary. That is also serious problem. That's why we didn't understand what Marxism, even though translated this thing, nobody understand the kind of language in our Telugu or Hindi, the what they translated and all. Even though vernacular it is available. That is the problems are there. But however, Ambedkar's writings are available. If you at least you go to the Ministry of External Affairs, the very website it is there. There you can click it. All the language, Bengali, Hindi, English, Telugu, other languages also equally it is available. But the challenging task is not just reproducing Ambedkar, and also how to interpret that Ambedkar for our time. That is very much important. Thank you.
Thank
Dr. Kiran Kumre, ma'am.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Prakash, am I audible?
Yeah, you are, ma'am.
First of all, sir, congratulations. I'm Dr. Kiran Kumre. I'm an assistant professor in Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Sidhu Kanu Murmu Dalit and Tribal Studies Center from Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya. Sir, your lecture is very deeply explain some topic. I have no words. and a very useful academician and our society. I'm observation, sir. Baba Sahib Ambedkar said, "Study, struggle, and unit." Today we could see that the struggle for our rights is becoming more and more problematic in the academic space. My question is, what is your view? That's it.
Yeah, thank you and all. It is, yeah, it is a very challenging task. Very particularly, other people is not important for the people who are very conscious people like us, you and Karunya or myself. Very difficult to sustain it and all, to make a place for us in a space, the university. It looks like every day, earlier we didn't feel it, but now it is more and more problem. It is not so easy to manage ourselves and also live with our ideas and all. One kind of they make us to push to end of the one kind of the academic suicide. Academic suicide means academically you can't produce anything. Such kind of situation is created. Of course, people get it is from the beginning, it is there. Very new ideas contesting the power and that issue. From the beginning, if not only this time and earlier also, it is there. It is, but at the same time, nobody can impose moratorium on human creativity and thinking. It is very timely for times or sometimes they can use that one. I am a power and vice versa is appointed by this fellow. You have to be this one. You have to be follow this rules. And no. They may create. They may be misread our kind of things and deliberately try to fix on that one. If not academics, they may create some other kind of small technical issues. They may be create, but they can't succeed. Of course, you have to face it. There's no other way for us. You have to face it and don't think that it is the only. It looks like a personal. You can't articulate about other. It looks like some very personal issues. It is there and all, but it's not personal. It is a collective issue, social issues, and also a Dalit issue. And but at the same time, they know it very when that fellow is attacking us means already we don't want when a lot of atrocities where they're taking place. And when the people are asserting, then only atrocities are taking place and all. When they become a loyal, you never be part of any discussion anywhere it is their institutions and all. They feel problematic. You are contesting, you are coming on their way, and you are independent, and they feel it is a problematic. Then they may create stories. Then they may try to look at, oh, this is a problem, and you did this one, you didn't come that day, you didn't sign on this one, you didn't absent and all. It is there. How can you claim and or some harassment and all, you did that one, and they themselves will create that one, or some kind of you have written and also they first of all they don't write, even if you write and also he is some kind of plagiarism, this she's there that way. They are petty issues they can create. They create the situation for you to not work. Ultimately, since we are not only life, we have to be live here, and as families will be there, larger society, and also our working group. Also, we have to work out. Social ecology also plays important role. Totally cut off from that one. You and your friend. That is a problem, serious problem for us. But you have to overcome. But undercurrent, it is that you are not alone. Like you, other people also there. When you are targeting means you are much more powerful, stronger than other, even other than stronger than the vice chancellor, stronger than the system, stronger than the fellow colleagues and all. That one has to give that one. You were thinking if you are losing and withdrawing and also become a part of that Jalra group and all, you are lost. Not only self-respect, you lost everything. It is very difficult. No, sir. For time being, I'm making sense. It is for to sustain that one, but not like that. That is, but the people who are there, and even though facing that one, they can't. The society can't forget. Not only society, the people who are troubling also they can't forget your integrity and your morality and your concerns. It is not so easy for us to just to manipulating, monopolizing our voices and making them to stop. That's why you small activities like this also, it create trouble. You are outside the university are doing and some other you are participating and also it is there. And you see a large part of this one that is creating, they feel some kind of conspiracy behind this one and all. You are isolating, you are doing something independent, talking about the caste session. These are issues. But there's no other way. If you are not talking much, you are nowhere and all. We are nowhere. That's why we should take with comparing with the ordinary people, it is not a problem for us and all. We can still sustain to a certain extent and all. like every day carrying in the name of atrocities and kind of insult, humiliation, carrying on that one. Of course, in a different format, it will be how to be reflected on us also. That we have to recognize first. Then you have to need to come out of overcome that one. We also have to some kind of strategies and all. Not just it is there. We also, rather than making all the people as a problem, but we have to there's a different degrees are there in the social ecology where we are working. We have to work out. We also have to be little bit strategically have to be there to make ourselves to be continuing. And I believe it is not so easy. It's the art of working in the when we are lost. Most of us we don't have voice. We don't have articulation. That's why we are depressive, self-sustaining, and make ourselves is a exit from that one. That's what they're expecting. And I believe that is when we are making a part of the community or part of larger discussions like that, it will give more strength to you, more strength and more the articulation and more it will be. Even though it looks like you are alone in a particular situation, but your ideas are not alone. That kind of confidence will be given the forums like this where you are making and appealing and also try to talk about rather than passive listeners and also taking part of the discourse, carrying the discourse further. That makes sense. I believe. Thank you, Kiran.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Akash, last question. Huh?
This will be a last question.
Yeah.
Miss Suhas Kamlakar. Miss Suhas
Yeah.
Kamlakar, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you
Yes.
are.
Yeah. Okay. So, JBM everyone. Thank you, sir, so much for this wonderful
Suhas,
lecture.
could you open your video, Suhas?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
Yeah. 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 So, JBM everyone. My name is Suhas Kamlakar. I'm a PhD research scholar from Jamia Millia Islamia Center for the Study for Social Exclusion and Inclusive Policy. So this topic was so interesting for me as it has enhanced my research. The topic of my research is also aligning to your topic, so it is very helpful for me. I gained a lot of insights and various new points. Sir, so I have a simple, like I have some clarifications on what you said, like the ideas of Ambedkar in the initial part when you said that the ideas of Ambedkar are propagated by the common masses, not by the dominant sector, which is quite contradicting to the appropriation of Ambedkar's concept, like which we see appropriation is done usually by the dominant sector as well as in politics, where we see that Ambedkar's banner statues are being used lately. You know that. So, sir, I have a bit confusion on this. Means how can we articulate this thought that the ideas of Ambedkar are propagated by common masses? First, this, and second, sir, about the appropriation of Dr. Ambedkar in contemporary period. What can be the philosophical conceptual understanding, like a simple, in a
Okay.
simple, brief way? Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sohas. That is actually exact dilemmas for us and all. Yes, we are telling that one ordinary masses who are uneducated masses, they bring the Ambedkars to the forefront. In a given political canvas, it is not for political, whatever it may be as a community consolidation or some kind of recognition, they'll come forward. Let us have the statue of Ambedkar. Of course, statue politics also, a lot of things are there. Again, the calling ruling class fellows and getting money or carrying on. These issues are there. That is a different issue. But symbolically identified with Ambedkar, it is one kind of the collective consciousness is there. They not be spell out what Ambedkar doesn't mean that they don't have the meaning. They know it very well. They clear cut. We are confusion. It is there for us academics. For us, it is very clear. He is a messiah. He is maybe giving the talking about the cash. He talking about our communities. He came from that one. He gave the way for us and all for education or for to entry into the political systems and participate. But that kind of understanding is there, and definitely there that compel them. Then they consolidated that kind of idea. It is there to then the political parties that taken care of that one. Yes, these people they know that one what we are not catering to them and all. They know that they're differentiating from us, differs from them. They try to come forward different ideas. For them, it is Ambedkar seems to be there. And by appropriating Ambedkar, by identifying so that we can reach them. It is only Ambedkar means Ambedkar to reach out this kind of Dalit constituency through Ambedkar. That is the way they are using it. But both the levels, when the people are getting here, ordinary masses, and the people who are appropriating also, they have the scholarly limited understanding is there, but doesn't mean that their intentions and the clear undercurrent core level, they are clarity about what is Ambedkar stands for. The way every Dalit knows about what Ambedkar stands for, and much more they don't have ambiguity like us, this argument, that argument, actually what has to follow and all that problem it is. That is one issue. But does the actual challenge, as you said, that one, our challenge is that from there, that kind of environment, the academics has to come forward. We have to generate knowledge. You have to interpret the system. You have to more and more and much more. The people are vaguely identified, metaphorically identified with Ambedkar, that you have to provide the meaning. Who has to do this one? The people who are educated, people who are not only educated, people are conscious about the communities, conscious about where they came, or conscious about himself, herself. What I am, how to there, how to where I'm locating this thing, what out of so far, what I did. That kind of level, that's what I'm talking. There we are lacking. There we are lacking the kind of scholarship, knowledge. Most of us, we are also very active. We like Ambedkar. That is a issue will come for. We also contribute money for the Ambedkar celebration, all this particular. But where it is lacking there, we are not only blaming the not only statues, we have to look for the substance, but exactly there, the gap it is there. In that gap, a lot of confusion also created by some others, rather than others. The confusion by creating others, institutional place. Consciously, one has to consciously and creatively, the people like you or others, you have to intervene. The young scholars, they have to intervene. Further, they need not require anything. They need confidence first. Courage first. Yes, I can talk. What I'm talking is right only, nothing wrong, and all, not necessarily have to take and all. Whatever way can't, whatever they thought that where is the book reference? It is not written anywhere. How can we expect somewhere written reference it is there? But whatever you have write something, that itself is a knowledge. You know it very well. The source of knowledge, you know it very well. Nobody has written, but your experience, you know, understanding about the life of the people, what they try to talk about. Not official academic resources might not be there. But this point of appropriation will be there. Yes, it will come with the confidence, courage, and also you yourself can be justified. Then that space will be there. And there the problem it is. They're not so easy to get the acceptability of our understanding. Before acceptability of understanding, what I am demanding is saying that courage is required for us. Courage to question your teacher, courage to question the system, courage to question the so far what is written in a knowledge systems and all. What social exclusion, inclusion, is it the way to look at that one? Is it the way like that? There are some other level one has to look at that one. Why one has to look at only exclusion, inclusion and all? Why don't you see it as a larger part of our kind of understanding, knowledge, power and violence and overcoming that kind of liberation, transformation. It is not the isolated phenomena, not fragmented kind of concept and all like this one. Like that, if you feel understanding the worldview, it comes as a part of our training and also part of our politics. Politics means the political power where it is some kind of struggles are sustaining outside your JNU or Delhi University or some other level, some kind of seminars like this and all ordinary like that. It will give confidence to you. It gives that environment is required. Mostly you are lacking that kind of environment. When you shatter that kind of silence, there's a way out. It is there. That's what my belief.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. Sir,
Thank you.
so can you please share your email ID or contact details to discuss more?
No, you can see my university website, pkesav@gmail.com. PKESAV. Since you are, most of the people, Delhi also it is there. Jamia, JNU and Delhi University. At any time they can meet me.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Now I request Shreyat Bodh, Mr. Shreyat Bodh, to give vote of thanks.
थैंक यू आकाश। शलोम जय भीम। मैं श्रेयात असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर हूँ बहराइच उत्तर प्रदेश में। सबसे पहले मैं आप सभी का धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि आप लोग इस कार्यक्रम में जुड़ने और प्रोफेसर पी केशव कुमार सर के ज्ञान से लाभान्वित हुए। मैं कारुण्यकारा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ दलित नॉलेज के संस्थापक प्रोफेसर एल कारुण्यकारा सर का विशेष धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि आपने हम सभी को इतना ज्ञानवर्धक प्लेटफॉर्म दिया, जिससे हम सभी जो पढ़ने लिखने वाले लोग हैं, बौद्धिक लोग हैं, जुड़कर आपस में एक दूसरे के ज्ञान का लाभ ले पा रहे हैं। इसके बाद मैं प्रोफेसर पी केशव कुमार सर, जो प्रोफेसर हैं फिलॉसफी में दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में, मैं उनका धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं कि आपने अपना कीमती समय निकालकर हम सभी जिज्ञासु लोगों को, जो उनकी जिज्ञासाएं थी, उनको शांत किया। बहुत ही ज्ञानवर्धक लेक्चर रहा सर का। विशेष रूप से सर ने जो कास्ट और डॉक्टर अंबेडकर को लेके जो बातें बताई, वो आज के समय में बहुत ही प्रासंगिक हैं। मैं सर का विशेष धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं। मैं इस कार्यक्रम में जुड़े सभी शोधार्थी, प्राध्यापक और जो छात्र-छात्राएं जुड़े हैं, सभी का विशेष आभार प्रकट करना चाहता हूं कि आपने अपना कीमती समय निकालकर इस कार्यक्रम को दिया। और अंत में मैं कारुण्यकारा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ दलित नॉलेज के सभी संयोजकों को सफल कार्यक्रम के लिए बहुत बधाई देता हूं। और इसी के साथ आप सभी का जुड़ने के लिए पुनः एक बार बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद। जय भीम, जय भारत।
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreyat. This lecture is going to be published on our YouTube channel. So those who miss anything, please go and check from our YouTube link. So thank you. This is the end. We are going to meet soon, and please please subscribe and like our YouTube channel. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care to all.
Right.